In this video, we're going to look at the features and benefits of quizzes in Microsoft Forms. Why use quizzes in Microsoft Forms? First, multiple choice questions are marked automatically. Short prescriptive answers in text can also be marked automatically. When planning, you can anticipate misconceptions and you can explain the common errors and misconceptions in your feedback. You can also differentiate outcomes by allocating more or fewer points to questions. The scores from the quizzes load directly into your markbook in Teams. There's no need for work to be turned in by students, as when they complete a quiz, their marks load up automatically. And the max points for quizzes means teachers can see if students have achieved the required standard. And finally, feedback and improvement time and self-reflection can be built into the task. Multiple choice answers are marked automatically. Firstly, you can explain possible wrong answers to address misconceptions by clicking on the speech bubble and adding a message, as you can see here. You can also assign points to reflect the level of challenge. You can make answers compulsory to ensure students take a risk and answer every question, particularly important if they are in the habit of leaving blanks in exams and therefore losing marks. And if the multiple choice answers are repeated, set up the parameters on the first question and then copy the format, obviously then changing the question in bold at the top each time. Text responses can be marked automatically too. Firstly, clear instructions will anticipate any issues in how students answer the questions. In Microsoft Forms, they may put extra spaces at the start, 2 spaces between words, or extra punctuation at the end, which would be marked incorrectly if the form can't recognize the answer. So you have to be quite specific in the instructions. Clear questions can encourage critical thinking as well, so that students can break down a question and go through the process of how to get to the right answer. Points to reflect the difficulty of the task will also be a good feature too, in that 5 points would be allocated to a more difficult task. For example, in this one here, from translating from English to French. And if a range of possible answers are available, for example, different answers would be acceptable, you can add them in as well so that it covers all bases with the possible answers. The good news is that you can also check quizzes manually afterwards if you do leave any, do need to do so. You can include feedback time in the quiz and encourage self-reflection with your closing message, which you can write in settings. This one here encourages students to review their answers and look at the ones they got wrong so they can learn from their mistakes, but also ask the teacher for guidance if they're not sure why it was wrong. And in terms of effective monitoring, this is an example of a grade book that you would see in Microsoft Teams. Scores from the quizzes load directly into the mark book or the grade book. You can refer to the max points in the quizzes to see if students have achieved the required standard. And there's no need for students to turn work in, because blanks would stand out as the quiz not being completed. And if it says viewed, it means that they've read the assignment, for example, but haven't completed the quiz at the end. So this is effective monitoring for you to enjoy as well. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we're going to look at creating and sharing quizzes in Microsoft Forms and then in Teams.